Coming up on the Mindful Midlife Crisis.
Choosing to slow down, to shift focus, to realign your energy with what truly matters, that's not quitting. That's self-love. Taking a step back from the noise, from the pressure to always produce or perform, is an act of honoring your own well-being. Self-love doesn't always look like bubble baths and affirmations. Sometimes it looks like saying no to something good so you can say yes to something essential. Welcome to the Mindful Midlife Crisis, a podcast for people navigating the complexities and possibilities of life's second half. I'm your host, Billy Lahr, an educator, personal trainer, meditation teacher, and overthinker who talks to experts who specialize in social and emotional learning, mindfulness, physical and emotional wellness, cultural awareness, finances, communication, relationships, dating, and parenting, all in an effort to help us better reflect, learn, and grow so we can live a more purpose-filled life. Take a deep breath, embrace the present, and journey with me through the Mindful Midlife Crisis. Welcome to the Mindful Midlife Crisis. I'm your host, Billy Lahr. Thank you for tuning in wherever you are. The purpose of the show is to help you navigate the complexities and possibilities of life's second half. One way I do this is by providing a platform that gives people the space and permission to share their practical expertise and relatable life experiences that inspire you to become more clear, consistent, connected, and compassionate in the pursuit of your own future goals. If you want to listen to some of my favorite conversations from the past, visit www.mindfulmidlifecrisis.com/fanfaves. That's where we post episodes that generated the most buzz from our loyal listeners, like my conversation with former Navy SEAL Commander John McCaskill, where we discuss his life as a Navy SEAL, how mindfulness complements his faith, as well as his struggles transitioning out of military service into civilian life and how mindfulness helped him with that. Commander McCaskill is an incredible human being, and this is definitely one of my favorite conversations. He also hosts a podcast called Men Talking Mindfulness, so I strongly encourage you to check that out as well. Lately, though, I've been sharing how practicing intentional and mindful living over the last 10 years has helped me navigate the trials, tribulations, and triumphs of my own midlife crisis. Being more intentional and mindful has helped me process my anxiety in a much healthier way by reducing my emotional reactivity and impulsive behavior, which in turn has helped me improve my relationships and communication with others. So if you're ready to make a meaningful change in your life, visit www.mindfulmidlifecrisis.com and download your free Jumpstart Your Midlife workbook. This workbook offers a comprehensive guided approach that will help you transform your midlife years with actionable steps, reflective exercises, and practical insights that will empower you to unlock your potential and build a more fulfilling life for yourself. These are the same skills, strategies, and resources I use in my own life based on years of research and experimentation to find a bit more calm and clarity amidst the chaos. So if you're ready to take the leap, go to www.mindfulmidlifecrisis.com and take action now. But here's the deal. I don't have all the answers because there are still days when I'm a hot mess. But by sharing my experiences as well as the experiences of others, my hope is that you'll see you are not alone in your experience. When we journey together and offer encouragement, we create a stronger, more connected community where everyone can thrive because at the end of the day, we'll always achieve more working together than we ever could alone. Recently, over the Christmas and New Year's holidays, I took a 2-week vacation, first to Okinawa and then to Taipei. And my plan for these trips was very simple. Soak up some sun, bask in the beauty of the beaches, and enjoy the pristine views of the Pacific Ocean. One problem. I didn't plan this trip very well. And Okinawa, which I thought was going to be this sunny, beach-laden paradise, didn't exactly deliver on the tropical feel that I was looking for. It was actually really cold, cloudy, and windy. Not exactly the basking in the sun vibe that I was craving. And while I generally enjoy navigating foreign countries on my own, in the past, I have found Japan to be one of the most challenging countries to travel solo. It's not just a language barrier, it's way more than that. There's a certain unspoken etiquette that can feel a bit intimidating. Even the no-ren curtains hanging in front of the restaurants made it feel uninviting at times to walk in alone. Besides, most of the fun in eating the local cuisine wherever I go is sharing that experience with other people. I mean, you're listening to this, but there's no way I can explain to you what a spam and egg onigirazu wrapped in seaweed tastes like. I hope I said onigirazu correctly. Spam and egg wrapped in seaweed. Just get a visual of that. You have no, you can't understand what it tastes like. It tastes like a lot of egg. I'll tell you that much right now. But it's just something you have to experience for yourself. And I never know the names of any of the foods that I eat. I'm just like, that looks good. Give that to me. Here's my money. And to make matters worse, getting around Okinawa without a car is next to impossible. They don't really have a metro transit system. You really need to rent a car if you're there, but I don't have an international driver's license. Why? Why did I not get an international driver's license before I left for Korea? Dumb. And I don't like renting cars anyway. I hate paying to rent a car. I just prefer using Metro Transit, but their Metro Transit is incredibly infrequent and limited. So I didn't get to explore as much of Okinawa as maybe I would have liked to. The highlight, though, of Okinawa was easily the night I met up with one of my course participants from Hyundai and a buddy of his. They were scuba diving off the coast of Okinawa, and I met up with them, and we hit up the Kokusai Street Food Village for dinner, and we sampled a platter of different foods before heading to Blue Seal, Okinawa's most popular ice cream joint, and that gave me gas, but regardless, it was delicious. Ice cream makes me fart. I can't help it. And these are a couple of young guys too, and so their metabolism is just out of control. So they got hungry after after we ate ice cream, and they wanted a cheeseburger. So we were going to go find this place, but unfortunately it was closed. So for whatever reason, we ended up at A&W. That's right. Okinawa has an A&W. We went there and we had ourselves a real all-American meal. They had never had root beer floats before, and their reaction to it was absolutely priceless because they first were like, ugh, this is disgusting. This tastes like shit. And then a few sips later, they were like, you know what? I actually think I really like root beer floats now. And it's moments like this that remind me why I love travel. It's about connection. It's about shared laughter. It's these little unexpected surprises that we find during our travel experiences. But honestly, beyond that one evening, Okinawa kind of felt like a bust. Yeah, it could have been the weather, it could have been the difficulty I found getting around, or, and this is the part I have kind of been reckoning with lately, is that maybe I'm just done solo traveling. I mean, if I had to do it all over again, I think I would have skipped Okinawa entirely during that week that I had off, stayed in Seoul, hit the Seoul Share Christmas party, and flown straight to Taiwan on Christmas Day. Because by the time I got to Taipei, I was definitely ready for something different. Initially, my plan was to spend a few days exploring solo before meeting up with people, which was fine because Taipei is similar to Seoul in that it's surrounded by easily accessible mountain trails. So I knew I'd have enough to keep me occupied for a few days before my favorite travel companion arrived. But as luck would have it, I just happened to be scrolling through the Instagrams when I saw my friend Carrie from Singapore, who I hadn't seen in 2 years, was also on her way to Taipei. So I messaged her and I was like, yo, text me when you land. This is awesome. I'm also in Taipei. So we quickly made plans to meet up at the Beitu Night Market, where we indulged in an array of incredibly tasty foods. And I think I mentioned this a couple episodes ago. I'm not much of a foodie. Carrie is an incredible foodie. So she is always seeking out something to eat, and she always knows where all the good food is, where all the local food is. And she delivered in this case once again. And since Taipei has incredible street food, I invited her and a couple of her friends to the Shilin market area where I was staying. And this is the largest market in Taipei. So again, we stuffed ourselves, and then we stumbled upon this cozy little dive bar that could only seat our group of 6 people. So we made ourselves right at home there, befriended the owner. All of them shot tequila with the bartender. I had a Sprite. We ended up taking over that joint, and it was just an absolute blast. And then the next day, my favorite partner in crime arrived. So we spent the day hiking up Elephant Mountain and strolling around Chiang Kai-shek Memorial Hall. Did I pronounce that correctly, Taiwanese people? Let me know. And then later, when I was just relaxing at the Airbnb, another serendipitous moment occurred when my friend Ben, who I met in Seoul 2 years ago, posted on Instagram that he was also in Taipei and traveling with his girlfriend, who I hadn't met yet. So naturally, I invited them to join us at the Shilin Night Market for yet another night of eating ourselves into food comas. And when New Year's Eve rolled around, we all got together at Mighty Riverside Park. Again, let me know how to pronounce these words. Why don't I look these up ahead of time? I really should. I really should look these up ahead of time. Anyway, Mighty Riverside Park. We'll go with that. And we were watching the countdown and fireworks shoot off the side of Taipei 101, which was absolutely incredible. And once you know it, even my friend Sydney, who lives just south of Taipei, she brought her adorable dog Teddy. Oh my gosh. Like, it made me miss Patches so much, but just holding that adorable little dog brought so much joy back into my life. And I was very happy to ring in the new year with Ben and his girlfriend and my favorite travel partner and Sydney and cute little old Teddy. And these experiences reminded me of something I've been slowly realizing. While solo travel has its moments, the memories that stick with me the most are the ones I share with others. When I reflect on the past 3 years of solo travel, very few of the most memorable moments were truly solo. Almost all of them involved connecting with friends, fellow travelers, or even strangers who became temporary companions on the road. Now, I'm not here to vilify solo travel. How could I? I did it for so long. It's been a significant part of my life. Solo travel gave me the freedom to explore, to make my own schedule, to learn more about myself. It taught me about resilience, independence, and the beauty of solitude. But if I'm being honest with myself, I've outgrown doing things solo. The other day, someone asked me why I moved to Seoul. And my answer was very simple. I moved here because of the people I met in Soulshare. And I firmly believe the people are what makes a place feel alive. The connections, the shared moments, the laughter over a meal or a drink. That's why certain cities, like Lisbon and Taipei and Seoul, have my heart. And while solo travel offers its own kind of beauty, it's just not worth it to me anymore to experience incredible places without someone by my side. Now, will I solo travel again someday? I'm sure I will. But these days, I'm really focusing on shared experiences that enrich our lives by fostering connection, offering new perspectives, and reminding us that we're not alone in our struggles or triumphs. Whether it's learning from someone's journey, laughing over a relatable mishap, or gaining insight from a different worldview, these moments create meaning and deepen our understanding of ourselves and others. So, when we come back, I'm going to share 5 essential questions that will help you reflect on how the connections you've made have added value to your life. And if you're looking for more ways to enrich your life, be sure to check out this week's sponsors. Thank you for listening to the Mindful Midlife Crisis. This episode is sponsored by the Bell Center and its Mind Hacking Meditation course, a transformative 3-week journey into meditation and mindfulness. Perfect for beginners or seasoned meditators alike, this self-paced course requires only 5 hours a week and includes daily guided meditations, theory lessons, and one-on-one guidance from Colin Purcell and Anna Schlegel. Experience the essence of the Bell Center from anywhere in the world. I actually took this course last year while I was in Korea, and it challenged my already established mindfulness practice while also expanding on my understanding of how mindfulness and breathwork actually impacts our physiological health. For those ready for a physical retreat, the Bell Center, perched on a lush rainforest hill in Ecuador, is a sanctuary for mindfulness, yoga, surf, and more. With breathtaking ocean and mountain views and a vibrant permaculture project, the center offers fresh, organic produce to all its guests. Join Colin and Anna for silent meditation, yoga, and surf retreats starting February 1st. I actually attended a breathwork workshop with these two when we were all at the Angkor Island Surf Camp in Dakar, Senegal, and that workshop helped me reevaluate my relationship with my breath, and I know working with Colin and Anna, whether online or in person, will do the same for you. Learn more at www.thebell.center. That's www.thebell.center. Give them a follow on Instagram and be sure to check out episodes 48 through 49 of the Mindful Midlife Crisis, where I talk with Colin and Anna about how the power of breathwork can enhance our lives. The Bell Center. Stoke your inner calm one breath at a time. This episode is sponsored by Gray Tonic. Do you ever question your relationship with alcohol? Gray area drinking, and gray areas in general, affect millions of people who don't identify with extremes but still feel something isn't quite right. Whether it's with alcohol, your health, or even relationships, these gray areas can quietly hold you back. If this sounds familiar, don't miss episode 61 with gray area expert Carrie Schweer, where she shares her personal journey through gray area drinking and explains how her own frustration with traditional programs led her to create Decide 30, a new program from Gray Tonic that doesn't just address drinking, but tackles all those in-between spaces where we tend to get stuck. With Decide 30, you'll explore what drives your habits, refocus on what truly matters, and develop daily tools to start moving forward. One of my listeners who worked with Carrie shared that her approach opened doors in ways he didn't expect, helping him to become a better husband, father, and leader. And as someone who's personally moved through gray area drinking and has been sober for over a year now, I can tell you firsthand the difference it makes to be clear and intentional. So if this resonates with you, check out the link in the show notes to learn more about Gray Tonic's Decide 30 program. This might be the exact opportunity you've been waiting for to make lasting changes in every area of your life. This episode is sponsored by Beyond Coaching with Jeannie Love. Looking to create a more inclusive workspace for your neurodivergent colleagues? Or maybe you're seeking effective strategies for your own ADHD journey. If so, check out episode 99 of the Mindful Midlife Crisis with Jeannie Love, a neurodivergent coach and consultant with over 20 years of experience specializing in ADHD and autism. Jeannie helps organizations create workplaces where neurodivergent employees can excel. Through tailored consulting, she provides environmental audits, practical recommendations, and specialized coaching and training to support neurodivergent team members. She's also equally passionate about coaching professionals who discover their neurodivergence later in life. Using her neuroautonomy method, she helps clients develop personalized tools for building confidence, productivity, and emotional resilience. If you're ready to explore how neurodiversity coaching can enhance your workplace or personal journey, book a free 60-minute discovery call with Jeannie at www.beyondcoaching.pro. That's www.beyondcoaching.pro. And let Jeannie empower neurodivergent individuals and workplaces to thrive with confidence, clarity, and compassion. This episode is sponsored by the Simple Man Guide. Hit a career rut and have no idea what to do next? Then check out episode 63 with the Simple Man, Brian Gallagher. Brian once had what many would call the perfect career, a high-paying job, zero debt, and all the luxuries he could want. But deep down, he knew something was missing. It wasn't until he ditched the normal career path, utilized his strengths, and followed his curiosities that he discovered his life's work, helping others find their life's work. So, if you're feeling drained by your career, can't imagine another 15 to 20 years of the same meaningless work, get yourself a copy of Brian's Solo Business Blueprint and start building your path out of the rat race. This free email course is packed with step-by-step guidance to help you find your business idea, get clear on the problem you solve, find those ideal clients needing your help, and stop overthinking and start building your own career path, all without leaving your job, all without wasting lots of time, all without posting on social media. If you're ready to get started, visit www.simplemanguide.com today to break free, create your own path, and live life on your terms. Thank you for listening to the Mindful Midlife Crisis. My mission is to help you navigate the complexities and possibilities of life's second half by introducing you to people and resources that will help you jumpstart your life. When you support our sponsors, not only are you supporting this show, but you're also supporting your own personal growth and development. Keep seeking out ways to invest in you and your future. And now, back to the show. Welcome back to the Mindful Midlife Crisis. Today, we're talking about how connection and community enhance our lived experiences. So now it's time for 5 essential questions. Matt Hazard, hit me!
5 essential questions. Questions you got to ask yourself. 5 essential questions. Listen up and get some help.
Nailed it. Anyway, this segment is designed to help you reflect, learn, and grow as you navigate life's complex decisions. Each episode, I'll present 5 thought-provoking questions aimed at fostering self-awareness and personal growth. These questions encourage you to dig deep, challenge your perspectives, and unlock your full potential. If you want a digital copy of each week's 5 essential questions emailed to you, just go to www.mindfulmidlifecrisis.com and join my newsletter. The website, by the way, is back up, so you should be able to join without any issues. Hallelujah. Thank you, Fiverr. New subscribers get my Jumpstart Your Midlife workbook, which is a great companion piece to this segment. Whether you're facing a major life transition or simply looking to gain clarity, these 2 resources will provide practical tools to help you move forward with confidence and purpose. So here we go with 5 essential questions for cultivating connection and personal growth. Question number 1. How have your experiences, solo or shared, shaped your understanding of connection and fulfillment? My experiences, both solo and shared, have shaped my understanding of connection and fulfillment in ways I never really expected. When I first set out on this journey, I thought solo travel would be the ultimate path to freedom and self-discovery. And in many ways, it was. There's something empowering about waking up in a foreign country, knowing I can do whatever I want, whenever I want, without having to answer to anyone. It's forced me to be more independent, more resourceful, and more comfortable in my own company. But as much as I value that autonomy, I've learned that connection is what truly makes an experience fulfilling. Some of my best memories aren't just about the places I've been, they're about the people I've met along the way. Whether it was emceeing a Johnny Bird show during a Soulshare event, having drinks at an izakaya in Tokyo with a random couple from Wisconsin, or watching the New Year's Eve fireworks shoot off at Taipei 101 with a random assortment of friends I've made throughout my travels who serendipitously just so happened to be in Taiwan at the same time I was. Those moments wouldn't have been the same if I was alone. And honestly, I've had to confront the fact that too much time spent alone can feel isolating. After months of hopping from place to place, I have found myself longing for deeper, more consistent relationships. The kind you don't get from just passing through living a transient lifestyle. That's part of what brought me back to Soul. I wanted both. I wanted the independence of creating my own path and a community where I felt like I truly belonged. And at this point, I know I need a balance. I know that I need structure and routine. Solo experiences push me to reflect, to learn, to grow, and to stretch my comfort zone. But shared experiences, The ones where I get to connect, collaborate, and build something meaningful with others are what bring the most lasting fulfillment. And again, I'm not vilifying solo travel, but what I want you to do is think about whether solo travel has offered you freedom and self discovery, or if shared experiences have brought deeper meaning to your ventures. Our next essential question is, what moments in your life have felt the most enriching, and what role did community or companionship play in those experiences? The most enriching moments of my life almost always involve community and shared experiences. And even when I thought I was chasing solo adventures, when I look back at the moments that have really stuck with me, they weren't just about where I was or what I was doing, but who I was with and how those connections made the experience more meaningful. One of those moments was hosting the Soul Share Halloween party last year. The energy in the room was electric, and for the first time in a long time, I felt like I was part of something bigger than myself. I wasn't just another traveler passing through. I was actively shaping an experience for others, creating an opportunity for people to connect. Not only that, but I got thrust into the DJ role. And after a slow start, I got that party popping, and people were dancing and people were singing, and that just felt good. It felt good to look around and know that my little playlist that I was just using my phone and Bluetooth to play songs was creating this atmosphere of joy. And in doing so, I built stronger connections for myself. And there must be something about dancing, because I'm absolutely looking forward to organizing a silent disco night at Yowie Park again, because getting a group of people together to go out dancing along the river is so much fun. You're just completely in sync, yet vibing in your own world as you got your headphones on. You're bouncing up and down. You're throwing your hands in the air and waving like you just don't care. It reminds me of the joy that comes from this shared unspoken connection. Everybody's just in their bubble. They're listening to the music. They're dancing away. There's no pressure to be on or to impress anyone. It's just about having fun with people. There's a togetherness to it. There's a shared experience to it. And even when I think back to my days as a teacher, the most rewarding moments weren't just about what I taught. It's always been about the relationships I built with students, with colleagues, and even the larger school community. I miss my office in C147 at Rochester Century High School, because the laughs, the inside jokes that we had there, the lunchtime chats that we would have, the ridiculousness that would go on, the pranks that we would pull, all of it just reinforced that belonging doesn't come from a place. It comes from the people in that place. And that's what I've come to realize more than anything. Life is not just about doing cool things. It's about who we get to experience them with. Community isn't just something we occasionally tap into. It's essential to making life feel full. And while I'll always crave independence and solo reflection, the moments that truly stay with me, the ones that feel rich and alive, are the ones where I've let people in and allowed those shared experiences to shape me. So consider whether your most memorable moments involved others and how those connections have influenced your sense of belonging. Our third essential question is, are you holding on to a past version of yourself out of habit, or is it time to embrace a new phase in your personal journey? This is something I've been wrestling with lately, and that I'm going to talk about in a little bit. Am I holding on to an old version of myself because it's comfortable, or am I truly in alignment with where I want to go next? For a long time, my identity has been wrapped up in being the guy who left everything behind to travel, to live on his own terms, and do the thing that risk-adverse people might not choose to do. And I wouldn't even say that I'm not risk-adverse. There are people out there who definitely take bigger risks than me. But I've had enough people tell me that they're living vicariously through me as I try to build something outside of the traditional life path, the checklist, as we talked about in episode 42 with Dr. Yolanda and Tiffany Bird. And for a while, that version of me was exactly who I needed to be. I left my teaching job, I traveled solo, I jumped into new opportunities without much of a safety net, and it was all part of shedding an old life that no longer fit me. But now, I'm not sure that constant movement serves me in the same way it once did. Lately, I've been feeling this internal tug of war between who I was and who I'm becoming. And solo travel has been a part of that. It used to feel like all this freedom, but now too much time alone feels like disconnection. I still love my independence, but I'm also craving deeper, more meaningful, more sustainable relationships. The rush of arriving in a new country and figuring everything out on my own, it was anxiety inducing, but it was also kind of exhilarating. But nowadays, I wonder if I've been clinging to that lifestyle because I thought it was the freedom that I wanted, even though the needs of stability and routine was really the foundation that I needed. And that's why part of why staying in Seoul longer has been such a shift for me. I'm not just passing through this time, I'm actually building something. I'm forming real connections, investing in a community, creating stability in a way I once resisted. And instead of seeing that as settling, I'm starting to recognize it as growth. So the real question isn't just, am I holding on to the past? It's, am I allowing myself to evolve? Because the reality is, change doesn't mean losing who I once was. It means expanding into who I'm meant to be next. And if that means redefining what freedom and fulfillment look like for me, then maybe it's time to stop gripping so tightly to the old narrative and start embracing this new chapter fully. So ask yourself why you continue certain routines, like solo travel. Do you do it out of comfort, or is it time to evolve? Our next essential question asks, how can you be more intentional about learning from other people's experiences, and what wisdom can you gain from their journeys? One of the biggest lessons I've learned, especially over the last few years, is that I don't need to have all the answers myself. I spent so much time trying to figure things out through trial and error, but the truth is, some of the best insights come from listening to other people's experiences. And I don't just mean hearing their stories. I mean engaging with them, asking questions, and seeing how their journeys can inform my own journey. That's one of the reasons I love hosting the podcast. Every guest I've had on has offered a unique perspective that's challenged me in some way, whether it's rethinking how I define success, reconsidering the importance of structure in my life, or realizing that my struggles aren't as unique as I sometimes make them out to be. I still think back to conversations I've had with people like Jill Daler or Teresa Sandy, and those moments have shaped the way I navigate my own midlife pivot. Beyond the podcast, living abroad and teaching business English in Seoul has also been a crash course in learning from others. My students share their professional journeys, cultural insights, and personal philosophies with me every day. They offer perspectives on work, balance, and success that I might not have considered otherwise. And the more I listen, the more I realize how much I don't know, which is both humbling and exciting as someone who has a passion for learning. And through SoulShare, I frequently meet new people, so I've been trying to ask better questions. In fact, I never asked the question, what do you do for work? I learned this from Jesse Ross during one of our anti-racist men's group meetings. You can go back and check out episode 55, where Jesse and I talk about how to navigate those types of conversations with people if you want. But I have three main reasons why I don't ask people that question. The first is that their job is usually the least interesting thing about them. Yes, some people have very unique jobs, but usually you don't. You don't have that interesting of a job. It's very rare that I meet somebody who has an incredibly interesting job that I want to learn more about. And my second reason is tied to that because, generally speaking, people hate talking about their job when they don't have to talk about their job. But the most important reason, in my opinion, that I don't ask that question is that people too often get wrapped up in their professional identity, and it makes them lose what makes them truly unique. Most people I meet work in corporate or teach, so I'd rather hear more about what hobbies they have, or what makes them light up with joy, or what 10 roles they play. That's why I ask that question to my guests all the time. It's one of the questions in the Jumpstart Your Midlife workbook. I genuinely want to know what makes people tick. I genuinely want to know what lights you up, what brings you joy, and how those things help you navigate the complexities and possibilities of life. The more people I meet and the more I listen to their experiences, I'm able to recognize their failures and their successes so that I, in turn, can make better decisions for myself. But that only works if I stay open, curious, and willing to actually apply what I learn. Because wisdom isn't just about collecting ideas, it's about using them. So I invite you to explore how listening and engaging with others' stories can offer fresh perspectives, challenge your assumptions, and help you navigate your own path. Our final question is, who in your life brings out your best self, and how can you be more proactive in strengthening those connections? You've heard me talk about this concept of core, crew, and crowd. I borrowed that from Leisha Fox, who I talked to back in episode 38. And my core are the people who bring out my best self. They're the ones who challenge me, support me, and remind me of who I am when I start doubting myself. They push me to be better, not by forcing me into some unrealistic version of success, but by seeing me clearly and holding me accountable to my own potential. For example, I've talked about how my dad is my financial North Star, always grounding me in logic and long-term planning. My sister Debbie holds me accountable and helps me think through big decisions. And then, of course, there's my best friend Brandon, who somehow manages to support me while also calling me out on my own bullshit. He's been my most consistent sounding board I've had throughout this journey. And even though our lives look vastly different, our conversations are frank, funny, and full of sarcasm. Outside of my core, there's my crew, made up of my friends I've made through SoulShare and climbing in Korea. Whenever I see them, I get excited because they bring joy, perspective, and a sense of belonging that makes life feel just a little bit richer. And then on that periphery, there's the crowd. People like most of you out there listening to this show. People are on that outer ring of my life who at any moment could step in closer, knowing that when they do, they're going to be greeted with an enthusiastic hello from me that makes them feel welcomed into this mindful midlife community I've been creating. And if that's you, and you're feeling a bit shy about taking that first step, just know the easiest way to do that is by dropping a quick message. All it has to say is, "Hey, Billy, really enjoying the podcast. Thanks for all you do." And I assure you, you'll get a genuinely enthusiastic reply from me. Which brings me to something I've been thinking a lot about lately. And after much thought, and you know me, I have certainly overthought this. I've decided to take another break from the Mindful Midlife Crisis for a while so I can fully invest in the relationships, opportunities, and communities that have started taking shape in my real everyday life. Sometimes the healthiest move forward is to take a step back. It's simple addition through subtraction. And lately, I've been feeling incredibly energized by the in-person events I've been organizing for SoulShare, especially the yoga and meditation workshops I've been co-leading with my amazing yoga teacher, Veronica. These gatherings are becoming sacred spaces for connection, reflection, and real-time transformation. And I want to be fully present for them. Not only that, but more and more doors of opportunity are opening for me here. So I want to focus on building these intentional partnerships with people who share my mission of helping others navigate the complexities and possibilities of life's second half. The more conversations I have, the more it's clear. We need more community-driven spaces that teach emotional intelligence, self-awareness, and connection, not just for kids, but for those of us in midlife too. The research backs this up, and honestly, so do our own lived experiences. Another major factor in stepping away at this time is that I've got this entire country of Korea at my fingertips with incredible experiences still waiting for me if I'm willing to slow down and savor them. Because if I'm just living to work, even if that work is something I truly care about, then what's the point of being here? That's something I've learned firsthand through all of my solo travels. Much like this podcast, solo travel gives me the freedom to go wherever I want, when I want. I call all the shots, but I also carry all the weight. You get to meet people, have powerful conversations, and collect unforgettable moments. But then the goodbyes come, and I'm constantly reflecting, processing, and holding all of these emotions all on my own. And while that's empowering in a lot of ways, it can also be deeply exhausting. It's beautiful, but it's also very lonely. And lately, creating this show has started to feel a lot like that. I've been running the ship solo for a while now, writing, recording, promoting, reflecting. And honestly, I think I've just run out of things to say. Or at least I've said what I need to say for now. And instead of repeating the same message in a different format, I want to take this time to live new stories, to learn new lessons, to build new awarenesses, and most importantly, connect with new people and nurture those relationships. Because that's what lights me up, creating a platform that gives others the space and permission to share their life experiences and expertise in a way that uplifts and inspires others. In the same way my friend Aki shined a spotlight on me during my time in Osaka, I want to keep shining a spotlight on others. That's where the real joy is for me, highlighting the wisdom, humor, struggles, and triumphs of people navigating this weird and wonderful stage of midlife. So if you're someone who feels aligned with that vision, whether you're a coach, a creative, a facilitator, or just someone with a big heart and a passion for helping others reflect, learn, and grow, I'd love to connect with you. Let's have a conversation and figure out how we can bring more value and support to people navigating midlife. Feel free to reach out to me on LinkedIn or email me at billy@mindfulmidlifecrisis.com, and let's build something meaningful together. I'll still maintain my newsletter, so if you want reflections, resources like my Jumpstart Your Midlife workbook, and updates from me, make sure you subscribe at www.mindfulmidlifecrisis.com. That's where I'll continue sharing what I'm learning, what I'm creating, and what I'm planning next. If you want to keep up with my travel adventures, feel free to follow me on Instagram at mindful_midlife_crisis. It's cherry blossom season here in Korea, and my plan is to visit as many cherry blossom trees in this country as humanly possible and take a million pictures. So be sure to check those out on the gram. Also, if you're a new subscriber and you're like, the fuck, I was looking forward to more episodes, you asshole. I don't blame you for feeling that way, but you can always scroll through my back catalog and listen to those episodes. And if you don't know where to start, check out the fan faves page at www.mindfulmidlifecrisis.com/fan faves. And if you do that, don't forget to share your favorite episodes and major takeaways with me. Because at the end of the day, meaningful relationships don't thrive on good tensions alone. They require consistent, thoughtful action. It's not enough to assume people know we care. We have to show them we care. That means making time, following through, and being present even when life gets busy. So I'm committing to doing more of that with my community here in Seoul and with the people in my core. And I invite you to do the same. Send that message. Schedule that dinner. Reach out, even if it's just to say, hey, I was thinking about you. How are you doing? And finally, let's not forget the most important relationship of all, the one you have with yourself. Choosing to slow down, to shift focus, to realign your energy with what truly matters, that's not quitting. That's self-love. Taking a step back from the noise, from the pressure to always produce or perform, is an act of honoring your own well-being. For me, stepping away from the podcast right now isn't just about making time for others. It's also about making time for me. Self-love doesn't always look like bubble baths and affirmations. Sometimes it looks like saying no to something good so you can say yes to something essential. It's listening to that quiet voice that says, hey, we need space to breathe, and actually listening to it and responding with care. That's why I include a chapter in the Jumpstart Your Midlife workbook that focuses on nurturing patience and self-compassion. So as you reflect on your own relationships, don't forget to check in with yourself too. Ask what you need. Make time for rest, for joy, for the things that make you feel whole. Because when you nurture your relationship with yourself, everything else gets stronger too. As for me, I'm stepping away from this microphone to step more fully into those spaces that help me feel more grounded, connected, and alive. This isn't a goodbye forever. Instead, it's more of a, I'll see you when I see you. And who knows? Maybe this podcast makes yet another triumphant return somewhere on down the road, like some Motley Crue farewell tour that never seems to die. Maybe some of you are thinking, Billy, don't go away, man. Billy, just go away. And right now, I'm going away to a place where my energy and my presence belong with the people right in front of me. Thank you once again for being part of this journey. Keep showing up for yourselves and for each other, because those are the moments that truly matter. So with that, this is Billy. Thank you for listening to the Mindful Midlife Crisis. May you feel happy, healthy, and loved. Take care, friends.